Well, Kevin, would you say that we didn't start the fire?
Are you Billy Joel now? Like, what are we? John Mayer, Bill. Okay. Are you just doing singer-songwriters? Alex, I'll take singer-songwriters for 500.
We didn't start the fire. AI's everywhere. We can't even
what
get
is
a
Billy
pair.
Joel?
We can't
What
buy
is
a
Billy
house
Joel?
now.
What is Billy?
I don't know, like a boomer?
No,
He's
I'm
old.
playing Jeopardy, and you're not doing the bit.
Oh.
You're Alex Trebek now.
Oh, welcome back to Jeopardy. I'll give you
I'll take
singer-songwriters
singer-songwriters for 500, Alex.
All right, this singer-songwriter said these famous lyrics.
Okay. Go.
Fuck the police.
What?
Fuck the police.
Fucking. Who is Henry Kissinger? I don't. Oh my God. Let's just start.
Okay. I have so many other bits I could do, but yeah, we'll just start.
Let's do bits. Go ahead. You want to do bits?
Well, Kevin, would you say in all seriousness that because I completely agree with you. I think you're totally right. I think what I've noticed about AI that has annoyed me, which I think is funny because it's in contrast to what you're talking about, is I see all the time on Instagram these insert like fantasy thing or like fictional thing in live action. So like, what if these characters were live action and it's created with AI?
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned the story on the podcast when it happened, but I got into this huge argument with one of the guys because I was like, this isn't creative. And he was like, you have no idea. I have to like type in the prompts and then adjust the prompts. I'm like, that's not being creative.
I have to type a prompt. Yeah, no,
that's
get the fuck
using
out
a
of here.
keyboard.
Yeah.
And unless you don't have hands, I'm not impressed if you're using a keyboard. And so I think that to piggyback off what you're saying, like people don't realize that these ads are AI. Like there are people in the comments that'll be like, this looks so good. Oh my God, could you imagine if this is what it looked like in live action? It's like two things about that. One, the AI doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Put your glasses
No, it
on
doesn't.
because you're blind and stupid if you think that.
And sometimes
And
their
two,
hand moves in a weird way or is like
it's
detached
so
from their
weird. Or, like, the
body.
clip.
Like, yeah, it's just
yeah, they
fucking.
clip through each other.
Yeah.
Or like they're disproportional. But the other main thing is you would rather have something that looks like this than accept the fact that some formats that are in animation, and that could be anime, CGI, whatever, do not need to and cannot translate to live action. So instead of doing it with AI or real people, we just let it stay in the format that it's best for. Because as we say on this show, Kevin, and say it with me, should have been an anime.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it drives me insane.
So, like, I have so many thoughts, and we could just do a whole episode on this because, like, really, like, I think more people will walk around and be anti-intellectual while holding the encyclopedia in their pocket. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have a smartphone, and I can't tell you how many times, even I would say it's pretty regular for me on a weekly basis, I will use a term or a word that should be known and is relevant to cultural happenings and current event not wherewithal, but know withal, right? Like that's actually a word that I'm transposing and applying. But like, so like I'll use these terms and like people just don't even understand them. Like they're like I'll be like, well, you know, we're really abusing our uncanny valley, and people are like, what's the uncanny valley? I'm like, you should fucking know this.
Oh,
like
yeah,
you
totally,
probably have a like. And here's the thing: you and I, we come on here, we got a bunch of useless facts about,
a ton of them.
And we call them useless facts. Actually, they're pretty useful because I have really in-depth conversations where I walk away from them and people go, wow, that guy's actually really intelligent and thought-provoking and thoughtful and insightful, because we're not just sitting here going, this movie was good. This movie, we're talking about cinematography and angles and shots and things that were invented for it. So, like, useless facts, no, because there's a translational skill here. But, like, people will learn a bunch of useless facts. Like, they'll know, like, every fucking thing about their baseball team. And then I'll say Uncanny Valley, which is something that you should be aware of because of where we are with, like, social media and stuff. And, like, And people just won't know it, and they'll be resistant to it. They'll be resistant to the intellectualism rather than the thing that's abusing their brain, you know. And like it's there's like I said, we could do a whole fucking episode on this. But when people use AI and they think that that's talent, that is a direct correlative component of the degradation of social and intellectual fabric that is happening because of the corpo-industrialization and monetization of attention span via social media.
Well, I think on top of that, too, is we live in an age where everybody wants to be a creator. Everybody wants that YouTuber life. Everybody wants to be Instagram and TikTok famous. And now we've provided a tool for people where they can do 10% of the work that it actually takes to reach those heights that YouTubers that we all love and admire have reached, whatever your YouTuber is, except for Mr. Beast. Fuck that guy. And now they have this tool to create, you know, all of these creative things, whether it be, you know, scripts through ChatGPT, images through AI art or videos or whatever. And they go, look at me. Now I'm creative. Now I'm just like you guys.
No, you're not. You're not even fucking close, man.
And that's the thing is, but some of the creators in this sphere will go, yeah, because we support AI because they were never creative in the first place. And then actual creators that have put hard work, time, and dedication into their craft look at that and go, get the fuck out of here for 500. What is your piece of shit, Alex Trebek?
The worst part is, like, you're literally handing the key. Okay, there's so much intertwined. Like, first off,
last stop.
Yeah, you're handing the keys over to fucking the worst people in the world who are running big companies and making money like they should not be making off of the backs of people who are not earning living wages. And like, it's the problem is just the gap just continues to widen while people seem to be comfortable just standing on opposite sides of the gap debating it. You know, like people are like, well, I've chosen this side and I side with the billionaires because billionaires are actually good. And it's like, no, they're not ever actually. And we can provide enough objective evidence that no. Yeah. So anyway, let's get away from this topic because I will just launch into an anti-corpo capitalist, diatribe that'll probably get me, like, I don't know, fucking kidnapped by the CIA. Donald Trump will come to my house this week and he'll be like,
God,
a lot of people are saying that's a very bad thing that you do.
Dude, he smells like Cheetos.
He
really
fucking
weird.
looks like Cheetos. He said that he voted by mail-in ballot into Florida elections, even though he was present in Florida for the early voting. He voted in by mail-in ballot. His reasoning was because I'm the president. You're a fucking idiot. The president has, the emperor has no clothes. Money's not even real anymore. Like, let's fucking have some fun. Why not?
Also, I should tell you that the answer to that Jeopardy question was NWA. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you messed that
up. All right,
up.
You ready to clap?
I'm ready.
All right, 2 times this time. Welcome back to another episode of the UnPop podcast. Thanks for listening. If you've stuck with us, congrats, comrade. You're a fucking commie now. I am your.
What? Hold on.
I am your host and Capitan and Papi Todo Siempre, Kevin Miner. Him with me as always is.
I think I'm trapped on this ship now because I didn't agree to be a communist.
You are.
I am your chef cooking up beans and stew because the economy is shit and it cost me $50 to fill up my gas tank this week. Yeah,
like,
man.
You know what's funny is
my gas tank isn't big enough to be ever cost that much.
You know what's funny is some people will be like, well, everyone's talking about it. It's like, yeah, because it affects fucking everything.
It sucks.
Shut
That's
up.
Why.
Like, yeah. Don't stop complaining that you can't get away from the inevitable dystopia that's being created around you and just do something else about it.
Yeah, I'm going to be complaining about gas prices until they go back under $3.
I'm not going to be complaining about it. I'm just going to be fucking punk rock, baby. I'm going to go light a gas station on fire right now.
Well, that's going to make it even more expensive.
Oh, you're right. Well, whatever. Everybody should have switched to electric cars years ago. Public transportation rules. Go to your fucking library. Use the encyclopedia in your pocket. Let's get out of this space. Come on. I've said it 3 times now. We got to get out of this space. We're having fun.
Okay, Kevin, let me
We're
tell you
here
this.
to have fun. We're here to talk about news.
News? Kevin, your body is a wonderland?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, baby. It's the UnPop news coming at you fresh and hot from the command deck of the SS Marlon Brando. Let's see what this week had in store.
First bit of news, Kevin. Wonderman Season 2 is confirmed.
I haven't even seen season 1.
Me either. I should.
Remember when we said we were excited for that show?
Yeah, and then we didn't watch it. You know,
well, you can only prioritize so much. And One Piece came out, and I'm waiting on Shogun. And
of course you are. I watched the first episode of Daredevil Born Again Season 2.
Oh, that's already out?
Yeah, I'm not going to mention it in my jam because it's just one episode. Already off. It's got the same kind of start as Season 1. Big, punchy,
good.
Good first episode.
Wait, it's got the same start as Season 1.
Stays.
Foggy gets shot.
Yeah, like the Season 1 had...
Again.
That first episode of Season 1 was great.
That was great.
Season 2 hopefully can keep that trend.
Yeah.
Because the rest of Season 1 was pretty bad until the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wonder Man Season 2, I guess really we need to watch Season 1 to fully understand like where that show is going to go and what direction.
Look, Odie, I'm telling you now, the end of May, I'm going to have so much time to watch all of these shows and play catch up. For now, you're going to get maybe a movie or an episode of something out of me a week. And that is because I'm on stage fucking every night going over shit somewhere. I had music reviews and I'm dancing and I've got a faux hawk now because I'm St. Jimmy and I've got a photo shoot Monday. So you're going to get a movie or an episode out of me a week. So pick carefully. Choose wisely.
Probably movies.
Well, yeah. And
probably movies.
And I love it. You know what I've really loved? You and I have been going to see the same movie on the same day a lot this year. And that has been very refreshing because not only do we get this episode, but and we've talked about this before, we would be doing this anyway, even if we weren't recording it. But I like that we get our little back and forth to begin with as we're marinating and figuring out what we think about it. And then we come together now and we're like, well, I have some changed thoughts, it's cool. But yeah, no, I'll definitely movie or an episode a week. That's what you get.
Yeah, and the reason I bring up Wonder Man Season 2, because I knew neither of us had watched it, but Daredevil Season 2 just started, and we learned that when Daredevil Season 2 ends in May, that on May 12th, we're getting the Punisher mini-movie special called Punisher One Last Kill.
Before Spider-Man.
So
if you are invested in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like so many people are, your best bet currently is to, 1, watch Daredevil, right? Even if you just throw it on in the background while you're cooking or something, right? 2, catch up on the Punisher, and 3, then watch the Spider-Man movie because you will be the most informed.
And I will say, as somebody who's watched both seasons of the Netflix Punisher show, the Netflix shows, yes, there are some things that are referenced in it. There is Ben Ulrich, who was the reporter guy in the first season who was killed by Kingpin. He is mentioned, and they say things like, "Oh, Kingpin killed him." But I think a lot of the details and specific information in the first bit of this Netflix shows doesn't it seems to be relevant but also irrelevant at the same time, if you know what I mean. They acknowledge some of it and ignore a lot of the other pieces of it.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need to watch all of Netflix Daredevil and Netflix Punisher, but I do think Daredevil Born Again Season 1 and Season 2 are worth checking out if you're invested in this street level kind of stuff, because there's a big rumor that Daredevil is going to show up in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I mean, that would just make sense. Daredevil pops up in I feel like Daredevil's the shoe-in Marvel character, they're like who could we get to do a guest appearance? Charlie Cox? Can we get Charlie Cox?
Yeah.
Can he come in and be blind and catch a thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because he already did that. He got a break.
He does it every time he shows up, and it's always
he's a really
whoever
good lawyer.
He's being introduced to is impressed. Every time, and we as the audience are he caught it again. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he's a talented blind man.
I think Daredevil leading into Punisher and Punisher leading into Spider-Man, I think that's really cool because it's all New York street level stuff. We talked about the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. All of it looks good. I'm excited. Punisher One Last Kill, I'm especially excited for. I think it's going to be nice.
Do you think season 2 of She-Hulk is going to be her defending Daredevil in court and saying that he actually is still qualified to participate in the Special Olympics?
I think that Marvel...
Could you
I think
imagine?
Marvel's... No, I couldn't because...
I just
Dude.
had that thought now because I was thinking about how much dexterity he has and how fast and athletic he is.
I don't think being blind qualifies you for the Special Olympics.
Yes, it does.
Kevin.
There's events for it.
I don't know about that. But what I do know is that Marvel's going to bury She-Hulk 6 feet underground and pour concrete on it.
That's great.
We'll never see
that's
She-Hulk
so sad,
again.
though. Anyway, moving on.
But speaking of Spider-Man,
Speaking of,
did you know that trailer has made history twice?
why?
So every time a new trailer comes out, there's a 24-hour viewing record, right? The most recent before Spider-Man took it was, I believe, Deadpool and Wolverine at like 230 or 240 million,
Okay.
I believe. Spider-Man got around 290.
Whoa, extra 60 million
in 24 hours, or it was like 270.
Okay.
Doesn't matter because the big thing that matters is Spider-Man: Brand New Day is the first trailer, Kevin, to get over 1 billion views in its first week.
Whoa, that's pretty
Yeah.
wild. That just
Now-
shows you the popularity of the character and like that franchise in particular. You know?
Well, and I'm glad you said that because Spider-Man: No Way Home, the third Spider-Man, when everybody was like, "Oh, there's more than one Spider-Man," Andrew Garfield here, and
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire is hanging
Yeah.
out. That trailer also once held the 24-hour viewing record.
Whoa.
So it actually held it before.
Spider-Man
Deadpool
has a
and Wolverine.
history of being a fan
Yeah,
favorite.
so this isn't random. Spider-Man's a beloved character, a beloved property. A lot of people like Spider-Man.
I'd agree. I would actually say Spider-Man's probably one of the most accessible heroes. Now, that I should add to the tail end of that, the Spider-Man Magic the Gathering set is one of the worst Magic the Gathering sets of all time. So do not take it that anything Spider-Man will do well and be good and worth your time.
I bought a bunch of those packs.
That's
'cause
great.
I thought they'd be worth money.
Did you enjoy them?
No, they're like, I owe Magic money. They sent me a bill in the mail saying that they've lost profits and now I owe them money, which is weird.
Yeah, you owe them money.
It's crazy. I owe them money just
they're
for
gonna
buying
show
their
up at your
stuff.
house with pinks, and they're gonna start taking stuff from you.
Good, they can have it. Yeah, Spider-Man, they can have my stuff,
Cool.
Kevin. I'm not attached to material things. I'm not a material girl.
No, you're not. But you're living in a material
No.
world, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Barbie. I'm made of plastic and life's fantastic.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, let's talk about some trailers, Kevin.
Let's do it.
This is what
Trailer time, baby.
you want to talk
We
about.
watched 2 trailers. We watched a trailer for the end of Oak Circle. right?
The end of Oak Street.
Okay, whatever.
You're close. Oh, do you want to talk
It
about?
looked like a cul-de-sac. I
Yeah, it's
feel like it looked like a cul-de-sac, and then you got your Anne Hathaway, right? You got your Ewan McGregor. They're sitting down. They're having a family meeting. Everything looks a little tense. Why is it tense, Odie? Why are things tense at the end of Oak Street?
Because potentially Oak Street might end up where dinosaurs are.
Oak Street is where dinosaurs are, Odie. We see a Tyrannosaurus chasing them in the trailer. I'm fucking excited. This is what Jurassic World should have been.
Yeah, and this is David Robert Mitchell, who people would know most famously for It Follows,
Which is a great horror film, also a PSA about safe sex.
Yeah, and then he also did Under the Silver Lake with Topher Grace and Andrew Garfield.
Okay.
And then he is also doing, besides this movie, he is doing the It Follows sequel called They Follow.
Yes, which is going to be another PSA about not having unprotected orgies.
Yeah, probably. More than
but
likely.
in a horror film setting.
I think that this end of Oak Street looks so fun.
Yeah.
It's producer J.J. Abrams, a director who really understands like tense, suspenseful horror, and the fact that it's a neighborhood or a street that gets teleported or transferred to an area in time or space or whatever, who knows, where dinosaurs are right outside your house. I don't know. I like those kinds of things.
I think this looks like it's going to be a cool adventure survival thriller, right? Like, it looks like there's going to be some tension. There's going to be some, like, comedy. There's probably going to be some cool, like, family-friendly, endearing moments. Like I said, this is just what Jurassic World should have been. You know, it should have been a family, not Chris Pratt, just, like, surviving in a world where dinosaurs have gotten loose and propagated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we talked about this because you skipped this movie last year, which was a good call. Jurassic World Rebirth.
Oh, yeah, skip that one, for sure.
Yeah, like...
Skip that
the last
possibly
one,
forever. I don't know. Will I ever watch it? Who knows?
I don't think you should.
I don't think I will.
I don't think you're missing anything. Have you seen the first Jurassic Park?
Listen, man.
You've seen Jurassic Park 1, right?
Of course. Come on.
And you've seen Jurassic World?
Yeah, of course.
Imagine if somebody put those two movies together and made something worse.
Yeah, all right. Got it.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, got it. You're good.
Yeah.
You're covered. But, like, the problem with that movie is the third Jurassic World was, like, dinosaurs are in the real world. And then this one's like, actually, they're all dying. So it doesn't matter.
I did the thing.
We're going to go to an island
I did
again.
the thing with the Jurassic series that, like, I do with anything that just, like, it to me, when something is, like, superfluous and it just feels like it's being added on, it's annoying. So I just stopped paying attention to it. So, like, if somebody was like, what do you know about the second Jurassic World? I'd be like, not much. And they'd be like, well, how do you know it's bad? I'll be like, just intuition, I guess. Like,
It's good intuition because it is bad.
but yeah, so, like, this looks good, though. It looks a little bit Land of the Losty, you know? Yeah. Just not as much comedy, not Will Ferrell being in your face and screaming all the time.
You know that movie's based off a TV show that came out in 1974.
I watched
Kevin.
every episode of that TV show. Thank you.
We were literally walking our dog yesterday, and I don't remember what it was, but the year 1974 came up because I was like, oh, this it wasn't Land of the Lost, but I was like, oh, this it was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
We were talking about pedophiles, and I was like,
we're talking about pedophiles, and Leonardo DiCaprio came up in 1974. He was born, so.
I asked Nate, I was like, would you ever watch Interstellar? And they were like, that's the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And I was like, no, that's the movie with Matthew McConaughey. And I was like, fun fact, Leonardo DiCaprio was born in 1974. And then we walked for like another 10 minutes, and they were like, oh, I really want to watch that movie Land of the Lost. And I was like, did you know the Land of the Lost TV show also came out in 1974?
There was a reboot of it
me,
in the 90s, too.
And there was also that movie in 2009. Yeah. But Nate looked at me, and he was like, how come you know so much about the year 1974? And I was like, that's also the year that the movie Death Wish came out, which was rebooted by Bruce Willis.
There you go.
And he was like, okay, all right. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm done.
Yep.
Like, all right, I can take a hint.
Useless facts.
My movie brain won't stop ever.
Well, you know what it is, too? Sometimes, like, you just, like, you read something or you hear something and it just, like, it's just there. Your brain just goes, yeah, we'll keep that.
Just latched on.
We'll keep that. Anyway, moving on. We watched another
End of
trailer.
Oak Street looks good.
Yep.
Yes.
We watched a trailer for, drumroll please, Woke Harry Potter. We did it.
Whoa.
We're doing it, folks.
Oh, no.
Against J.K. Rowling's wishes. We're having fun with it.
Okay. Before
Hit me.
We dive. So
Harry Potter, we can't talk about it without talking about how people are going to call it woke. You know we can't.
No, that's fine.
We can't avoid that, like we can't avoid the inevitable financial crisis that will make everybody realize that capitalism is actually something else.
And just like that, that's a given.
Yep.
Right? Like we already know that people are going to say that this is woke and blah, 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 blah. Here's my thing. Okay. I got a couple confessions about Harry Potter. One, I've never finished the original movies. I still have the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. I've never seen. So I have no idea how Harry Potter is.
Okay.
I never watched Harry Potter growing up. I wasn't allowed because I was raised in a Christian household, and that was black magic.
Can I spoil it
we
for
weren't
you?
allowed to
Can
watch
I just
that.
spoil Harry Potter for you?
No, I'm going to eventually watch it. Here's the thing about I've seen the first movie twice.
Okay.
And this trailer just looks
better
like the movie, but updated.
But better.
You know what I
mean?
mean?
Well, it's more true to the books. Okay. As the person who has read and seen all of it on this podcast, not that makes me more qualified than you. It does. I will say that this looks, 1, more true to form to the books. 2, like it's carrying an emotional weight that the other movies didn't necessarily have to begin with, which I think is cool and will help bring true, like real Harry Potter fans back in in a good way. 3. And this is the only other thing that we really need to talk about. The characters all look phenomenal, and I don't care that Severus Snape is black. I don't give a shit.
Oh, I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Because here's the thing. He's got no fucking kids canonically in the series. So, like, there's nothing else you have to do there. And he can be whatever color. Because guess what? There's a werewolf married to a woman. You want to be concerned about casting when there's interspecies sex happening? Come on, guys. Pick your fucking battles, MAGA. Keep your eyes on the prize.
Yeah, right? Just stick to one.
Jeez.
Be misogynistic or be homophobic.
I actually saw the controversy before I saw the trailer, and I was like, here we go, baby. At this point, I'm relishing in the fact that, like, the same people who once labeled everyone snowflakes just can't seem to handle anything anymore.
Well,
they
no,
can't handle a fucking thing.
And the thing with this trailer is, and, like, look, I'm not going to sit here, like, let me say, looks good. It, the music, the sets, the kid looks like the cover of the book.
Yep.
Like,
you see the haircut like happening, where the bad hair comes from. Like, you see.
Like, I think, doing each book as a season, I pray to God they don't break up the last book into 2 seasons.
If they fucking do that is like the worst. What a corporate move, We're going to milk this. Yeah, shut up.
I think that, going more into detail will be really good. What I've seen the most of when it comes to backlash or discourse around this trailer is everyone asking, well, this looks just like the movie, so what's the point? And Kevin, I actually have information here that says what the point of making this show was.
This looks better than the movie, first off.
But do you want to know why they made the show? Because I have information
Why don't you tell me?
Warner Brothers said, we're making the show because of money.
Yeah. Go figure.
So it makes sense. Yeah, they want to make money.
But also, this looks better than the original movie, and I have no sentimental attachment to it. So bring it on, baby.
And as somebody who has no sentimental attachment or fondness for anything Harry Potter, period, I'll watch this probably. It comes out on Christmas.
I think, the thing for me, Harry Potter never, like, fully, like, brought me in. Like, I wasn't one of those people who was like, I didn't need a Deathly Hallows tattoo. I didn't need to, like, like, commit myself. Like, I had some fun when, like, people started, like, going like, what house would you be? I'm like, fucking Ravenclaw. You know that. Come on. I'm already exasperated with this conversation. Like, you could be Hufflepuff. I could see that. Hufflepuff is secretly coolest actual house. Like, for real. Let's be real. They're the humblest and coolest.
I don't know. I like snakes. Can I be with Slytherin? They seem cool.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, there's not everybody in
cool
Slytherin's bad. Just most of them.
Okay, why do they allow a school full of, like, troubled teens that bully people to exist at this magical school? Like, they know that Slytherin is bad, and they're like, it's just Slytherin. Hogwarts, they know that Slytherin's a bad house and full of bad kids, and they just let them exist on school campus doing things against the school.
You just described the fact that most football teams exist, like, in school.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Like, you just described the fact that the precursor to Greek life exists in high school.
But they don't have magic powers.
Yeah, but, like, well, they're athletic. They have powers compared to certain people. Anyway, before we go down that long, dark hallway full of
I'll save it for the Harry Potter episode.
And teen trauma. It looks good, honestly, and I'm here for casting fucking anybody and everybody as long as they're the best actor for the job. Yeah, bring in the unknowns. Like, we were talking about this last week. Bring in more unknowns. Give me more. I want
like
more
Marvel
people to have a
used to
chance.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing the same person in everything. And
we don't need Kevin? Ryan Reynolds and fucking Bradley Cooper and Scarlett Johansson and I love Zoe Saldana. We don't need Zoe Saldana and everything.
Yeah, I think moderation. Yeah. And
what?
Somebody that's been kind of doing that is Glenn Powell.
Powell, baby.
He's exploded onto scene, and I think he's been in a lot of stuff, but I don't think he's been everywhere too much. He did Twisters, he did Anyone But You, he did the Hitman movie on Netflix, he did How to Make a Killing, he did Running Man. He's done movies that, like, I feel
I was actually
like
watching Running Man while I was falling asleep last night, just so you know. That's a
new
fun fact. Yeah, with Glenn Powell.
It's good, right?
It's okay. it's
good.
okay.
It's fun.
You know what? It put me to sleep.
That's good. It's fun. But Glenn Powell, and this news, I genuinely, I like the Glenn Powell casting. I don't like the news around it.
Okay.
But he is voicing Fox McCloud in the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out
hear me
next
out.
week.
Glenn Powell has a very, very handsome voice. Like just separating the man from the voice for a second. This version of Star Fox, if it is allowed to be as sexy and handsome as Glenn Powell's voice, there is going to be a brand new generation of furries born from this film alone. I'm also not a furry. No,
You're going to lead
not a furry.
with your Fox
No,
McCloud
but there's
suit.
going to be new furries coming.
Oh, you're a Fox persona. It all makes sense now.
I'm not a furry. I'm not even a little bit. I don't. Okay, maybe a little bit. I'm not much though. Not much.
Just a little.
Just a tiny bit.
I think he's a great choice to voice Star Fox. I just don't. Okay.
Do you think
Here's my
someone's gonna?
question to you.
Do you think someone's gonna say the line from Star Fox? And what line do you think I'm referencing when I say the line?
Do a barrel roll.
Yeah. That look, if Glenn Powell and or someone else says do a barrel roll, job done. You did it. You serviced the movie
I think they
to
will.
the best of your capability.
Okay. So here's my question
Okay.
about this. How do you think a Super Smash Brothers movie would work? Because that's clearly the aim with this. It's been the aim. We know this isn't a speculation. Like, we know that they're trying to figure out.
This is where Super Mario's going. Is Super Smash Brothers.
Like, we know that this is in the works. Like, they're trying to figure out how to do Super Smash.
I don't think you can do a Super Smash Brothers film that will ever appease the fandom. There is no way, because the fandom isn't just a fan of Super Smash Brothers, the property. They come in here, and this is the point of a fighting game. You come in with preferences and bias, and then you execute those preferences and bias via combinations across a level and a map and in a certain amount of time so you can assert dominance. And so to try to appease people who are playing a game to assert dominance is impossible. I don't think that would be possible. I do think you could do like some Super Smash Brothers light, but like honestly, I just fucking leave it to the fans at this point. Let some really talented 3D animators come along and do like short films with the characters fighting each other or something, Like that's what we really need from Super Smash Brothers. We don't need like a Super Smash Brothers movie.
Well, because here's the thing, right? Like, so
how do you
with
get all the
Mortal
characters
Kombat, so Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, there's a purpose behind the tournament.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Mortal Kombat, it's to save the world. Street Fighter, it's what is it in Street Fighter? It's like
Street Fighter's to save the world.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, like, I'm going to go off of the Super Smash Brothers game that I know the best, which is the one for the N64, the OG, right? The storyline in that one
is that
there's
hand.
There's a giant hand, and you play as one character, and the hand has turned everybody else into like evil versions of themselves that you fight, and you go through the tournament, you go through stages to eventually fight the hand and free everybody. That's the point of the game. But it's a fighting game. So if you do a Super Smash Brothers game, and even if you did this mysterious hand as the villain, you still only have one real character that you're following, because everybody else, like if you pick Mario, the Luigi you fight, the Samus you fight, the Star Fox you fight, they aren't the real versions of those characters. They're the versions that you fight to save the real versions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't even do it that way, because then you'll be like, well, that's not the real Star Fox, and I like Star Fox, and I had to watch Mario fight.
Well, and there have been so many iterations of this game now at this point. That's what, like, it's impossible to appease the entire fandom. It's not happening. Will they try? Probably. 'Cause money.
Here's what I think they should do. I think you get all of the core favorites from Super Smash. You get your Samus, you get your Star Fox, you get your Donkey Kong, Bowser, Mario, you get your Link, you get your Captain Falcon, right? You get your Ness, Pika Fire. You get all of them, right? And you have them just team up to fight something. Or evil versions of themselves or something. I think that's the only way you make it work. But I think an actual Super Smash Brothers movie would ultimately, in my opinion, be kind of boring. But that's just me. It doesn't matter. We'll see what happens. I mean, maybe they won't go that route, but it definitely feels like they are. But we'll find out next week, Kevin, because next week we are watching Super Mario movie in Galaxy space.
Okay.
So.
Well, yeah. Dude, well, okay. Super Mario Galaxy, listen, we've got Yoshi. We got Star Fox. We got a lot of cool people. Charlie Day's coming back as Luigi. We got Anya Taylor-Joy coming back as Peach. We got Jack Black as Bowser. Like, the elements are there to at least have fun. Cool. Bring it.
Yeah. Just get rid of Chris Pratt and we'll be fine.
You don't need it.
I'm sorry.
You don't need it.
Okay, dude, so I was rewatching a clip from the Mario movie, the first one from 2023.
Yeah.
And when he's fighting Donkey Kong, I didn't realize how atrocious his "Let's go" was. It's so bad.
Yeah.
But you know what's not bad,
What?
Kevin? If someone's trying to kill you in a hotel because they worship Satan.
Odie Matthews.
Oh wait, that
at
is
the
bad.
movies.
That is
Yeah,
bad.
but Odie Matthews at the movies.
That's really
Yeah,
bad.
but that's
But
Odie Matthews at the movies.
Okay.
Yay!
Odie Matthews at the movies.
Yeah, Odie, you saw 2 movies this week. One of them we're not even. You know what? Just give me a quick over under on Ready or Not 2.
I've marinated.
Yeah, give me a quick over under on Ready or Not 2 because you actually, and I will share this with everybody, you gave me permission to not see it last night.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I was very
so
happy
you-
for that because the only showing after I got out of rehearsal for American Idiot was fucking 10:30. And I was like,
Oh,
I
that's
don't want to
crazy.
go see a movie. I was on 3 hours of sleep. I'd had a
Yeah, that's
long
crazy.
fucking day, and I didn't want to go see a movie at 10:30 and then get up and talk about it this morning. I would have been delirious.
No, so I saw it early. I was gonna go to a later showing,
'Kay.
and then Nate was like, "Hey, I'm gonna play some Stardew Valley with my friend."
Yep.
And I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, I'm actually just gonna go to this movie that starts in 5 minutes then,
Yep.
because I don't want to go later."
Yep.
And so, Ready or Not 2, which I was going to see yesterday
First.
instead. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
glad I saw it second. Look. The way I've come to describe this movie, and I think the best way to summarize it is, the first one was in 2019.
Yeah.
This is 7 years later.
Yep.
The first one is good because you don't have to think too hard about it.
Yep.
This, Samara Weaving, Grace, marries into a family. They got rich from making games. Whenever somebody marries into the family, they got to play a game together. Some of those games are fine and you don't die. One of those games, you do die.
Just
And
one.
She just happened. And you just happen to pull that card.
Yep.
And now she has to play hide and seek. And it doesn't really matter because you're like, is this real? Is this not?
Doesn't
Spoiler
matter.
alert.
Suspend your
They all
disbelief.
explode at the end
Yeah.
because she survives. And I think that was good. Like, you don't really need the mythology or the lore of how they made this deal with this guy, this devil. You just need to know they got their fortune, they made a deal, and now they all exploded because that deal was real.
Don't over-explain it. Keep it simple.
The second one doesn't keep it simple, kind of retcons a lot, and spends a majority of the movie telling you about this lore and this world and this mysterious bylaws that they have. And there's moments, Kevin, where a character will be like, well, this isn't in the bylaws. And another character will be like, yeah, so now we can do this thing. But we can't do this thing because it is in the bylaws. And that's what explains this scene we're in.
You and I were talking about this last night on my drive home, and I said that it sounds like somebody took season 3, episode 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen, where they just spent an entire episode explaining the rules of the culling game, and then made it a movie where people throughout the course of the movie are killing each other, but then going, but this isn't in the rules, but this one is. It's like but
because there's a heavy-handed moment where they're like, you can't during this round of
During
hide and
this
seek.
round specifically.
Yeah, basically this movie's about, hey, she survived and the family that she killed held a seat of power at the High Council, which are a bunch of rich people that could literally control the world.
Which was not alluded to in the first one.
No, there's a scene where, like, the first time you meet David Cronenberg's character who sits at the High Council table, he literally is watching this war, and he makes a phone call and he goes, tell them to sign the ceasefire. And then as soon as he hangs up, the news says, breaking news, ceasefire signed. And I'm like, all right.
Interesting.
Okay. And so this whole thing is about how since she killed the family, now all the other families that sit at the high cable can get to play the game with her. Because if they kill her, whoever kills her gets the seat at the table from the family she killed, and if she wins, she gets a seat at the table. Look, it doesn't really matter. The point is, there's a really heavy-handed moment where they keep saying, you can't kill one of the other family members in this hunt, but if you kill one of your own family members, that's okay.
Yeah, it sounds like this was the movie that they made to test if this could be a bigger, broader franchise. Like, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like they wrote a script with more lore to explain it to see if people would buy in to the lore and the world they're in, right? Because IP is fucking everything in, postmodern corpo capitalism. I'm going to stop now.
Well, so here's my other complaint with this movie, because I don't like it when any movie does this.
Hit me.
The first Ready or Not, she specifically says, I don't have any family. And look, you can argue a couple different ways that the reason she has a sister because they're estranged and so forth is that she doesn't have any family because she doesn't talk to her sister. But
I don't have any family. But
there's a moment in this movie where she's talking to her sister, who's named Faith and Grace, because that's their names. Catherine Newton, playing her younger sister, who's great. Like, her and Samara Weaving are great in this. But there's a moment where Samara Weaving is like, I tried to find you because I wanted to invite you to the wedding. And I'm like, okay, but you told your fiance in the last one
that you don't have a sister.
That you don't have any family. So then if you're like, well, actually, I do have a sister. We're just estranged. So it's like they tried too hard. They spend a lot of time trying to... Yeah, they spent a lot of time trying to justify the fact that, she said that she didn't have family because they weren't, like, they needed to make up in this one. And I just kind of hate that, where it's like a shoehorn, like, you really had this all along.
Yeah, they were retconning, shoehorning, and trying to develop IP. That's what this is.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It just didn't hit, and I think it really didn't hit because I saw They Will Kill You the Night Before, and that movie hits so fucking hard. So let's talk about that instead.
Yeah, let's jump into They Will Kill You. I'm going to say this is my favorite movie of the year so far. I actually might go see it again tonight.
Really?
Yeah, it's that good. This is the kind of movie that when I think of purely entertaining myself and just enjoying something, this is what I think of. Like, the blend of genre in this film, the way that it's made, the homages to the influences therein, the script itself, because, like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it knows that. Like, it's a very self-aware film. And even, like all the little, like, bits in it that are just, like, that separate it from everything else in its multi-genre platform, just it makes this movie stand out so much more than anything else this year, period. Also, it's a new IP. It's, like, one of the few things that's, like, a new IP that we've seen this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I completely agree. I think that there's a lot of things that They Will Kill You did that I thought was creative and unique. I don't know if this is the best way to describe the movie, but for me personally, this movie felt like if you combined a little bit of Quentin Tarantino, a little bit of Sam Raimi, and a little bit of the guys that did John Wick, and you kind of took all of those elements of action and dialogue and, like, characters and also, like, some of the horror elements of it, and you just kind of, like, combined all of them together. I think you get this because it has really good character moments. It has really good dialogue. It has some pretty good horror elements. But most importantly, it has some really fun fucking action. And it does something that I personally like, and that's when somebody gets hit with a shotgun, they fly back like 15 feet, and I think that shit is so fucking fun, even though it's super unrealistic.
I loved the unrealistic. Well, you're okay. So let's do a quick breakdown of the setting, and then we'll get into spoilers because there's no way to talk about the actual movie without getting into it. Because they did a good job not revealing everything in the trailer. Also, good job.
I was caught
on
off
that.
guard.
Yes, I was very pleased. So there's a twist very early in the movie, but here's the premise. Asia Reeves, played by Zazie Beetz, is going to go get her sister, who is a maid in a hotel in a famous historic New York building that is run and inhabited by people in a cult that worships the devil and or like just like some crazy demon thing. And in that process, she needs to fight her way through the hotel to save her sister, period. Played by, who is Maria Reeves, played by Mahala. And
she's from a TV show called The Industry, which is about a group of people that enter the financial market after the 2008 housing crash.
It's actually an amazing show. I've watched most of the first season. Yeah.
Cool.
Other actors in this movie are Tom Felton, playing Kevin.
Amazing.
Yep. Speaking of Harry Potter. There's also Heather Graham playing Sharon, and then
from
Patricia Arquette plays Lilith.
From Severance.
Here's a thing that I will say about this, like just some broad stroke stuff. First off, great. I think this movie was great. On our scale, this is great. I would watch this again anytime. If anybody was like, I want to watch that movie, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead, throw it on. What do you got?
I just
Do you think it's great? Garbage, bad, fun, good, or great?
Oh man.
Wow. You haven't decided yet.
I haven't.
You know what? Let's talk about it and get back to me at the end.
Let's talk. Yeah.
So, quick overview. In the Satanic Hotel, Patricia Arquette's character is kind of the one in charge. You can tell from the trailer. But, like, let's just jump into spoilers. Very early on in this film, Zazie Beetz, we first get a little background of her and her sister, and how they have an abusive dad and they're trying to get away from him. Zazie Beetz shoots him in the rain and then runs off. She gets captured, goes to prison, is in prison for like 9 years roughly, right? I think it was like 9 years.
Yeah, like 9 or 10.
Yep. Learns how to fight and survive in prison in a very gritty and brutal way. For learning how to fight and survive in prison, great sword skills, first off. So now she has gotten out of prison with the help of a private detective, I guess. I don't know. This weird guy who's just in there.
No idea.
Which I don't care about. It's fine. He's just there. And she shows up as a maid, but she's not the actual maid who's supposed to show up, not knowing that this maid was going to be offered up to this demon / Satan as a sacrifice by the people in the hotel. And then we get like the first sequence of this film, like all the way up through the title credits. We just have like this sequence of like her entering, creepy vibe, a lot of explanation of like who lives where in the hotel and how people are. We see Heather Graham and we see Tom Fulton playing Kevin and Sharon. Like we get introduced to all these characters. Lilith is married to a guy played by Peterson Joseph. I forget his name in the movie. But like we get like kind of like this round robin introduction, and then Zazie Beetz finally settles into her room. And I loved this. She's taking a shower, which is very horror movie classic trope, right? But instead of like they pan in toward the shower, I'm like, oh, are we getting our first creepy moment? And then they move over to the mirror. The mirror, and the title of the movie, They Will Kill You, is on the mirror because somebody wrote They Will Kill You on the mirror to try and warn her.
I loved sometimes when a movie holds their title reveal, I think doing it at the very end of the movie is stupid.
Yeah,
I think
that's lame.
Marvel does that a lot where they'll be like, the movie ends and it'll be like, Spider-Man. It's like, I knew I was watching Spider-Man for the last 2 hours. Thank you, movie.
Yeah.
I think doing it right at the start is, fine. But when a movie waits like 10, 15 minutes and does the reveal in a creative way like this one, I love that shit. I think that's so fun.
Yeah. I loved the creative way that they showed this. Then we get our first like suspense / action sequence. she does know that, like, okay, here's a weird thing that I didn't know. She does kind of think she sees someone in the vents. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and like then gets freaked out, but then takes a shower and goes to bed anyway while like looking at the vent. Also, the little bit of foreshadowing of the samurai lighter with the blood spray, like her just flicking that. I did not expect that to be the foreshadowing that it was, but her falling asleep with that, we get a cut to her being asleep, and then we get the first character trying to come into the room. Now, she's smart. She's put a chair up against the door of the room, but they're smarter, and they enter through a hole in the wall behind the fridge.
This is a sacrifice room.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is a room designed for their sacrifices to stay in so they can get access.
They've thought about it. So
I love that.
Some weird person in a pig mask shows up.
Lots of pig masks.
Lots of pig masks in this movie, and we'll tell you why at the end. So a person in a pig mask shows up, and the first thing they do is lick her fucking feet. And I gotta say, I like my spine tingled. I was like, ew, like, wow, this is where we're going.
Uncomfy.
She fights off big pig mask dude in a raincoat. And then two other people with pig masks and raincoats enter. She's slightly passed out because she was getting chloroformed by big pig mask raincoat guy. But he's knocked out. And these other two people in pig masks and raincoats come in, and they reveal themselves to be Kevin and Sharon. And they're like, oh, why did he show up ahead of us? And he's like, I told you, he likes to fuck them. And like then you're like, oh, wow, okay, here we are. And then we get our first actual like fight sequence because Zazie Beetz wakes up.
There's 5 of them versus her. It's 1v5.
Zazie Beetz wakes up and has these 5 people around her in pig masks and raincoats in this room, and they're ready to bring her up to be sacrificed. And she scrambles into the closet. And then we get the beginning of the actual action of this film because they walk over to the closet, and you think that something's going to happen before they open it. But they open it, and we get, I love this, the first little close-up of her smirking and knowing, like, I've got these guys was my favorite. She unveils essentially a chef's kit of weapons and slices one person's head off, slices Kevin's head off, and shoots Heather Graham into the bathroom. And then continues to Kill Bill / John Wick fight all of these people, and then escapes the room, comes out into the hallway where she's met with Patricia Arquette, and Patricia Arquette gives us the big reveal of the beginning of this film, which is,
well, okay, so this is the moment in the movie where she opens the closet door, she cuts off Tom Felton's head immediately. And my initial thought was, come on, another movie where they advertise an actor that I like only for him to be the first one to die. And I genuinely was like, it put a bad taste in my mouth for a second because I was like, are you kidding me, man? Like, I'm so sick of this happening. It happens a lot to me in movies. And then 5 minutes later, him and everybody else are walking out because
who've just been killed. Like
they're immortal and can't die.
Yeah, they've had limbs chopped off. They've been shot into the bathroom. So it turns out the deal that they have is that they are immortal insofar as they continue to sacrifice people to this weird demon pig god thing.
Yeah, they got Wolverine powers.
They have satanic Wolverine powers. This reveal made me so happy. I told you, I sat up in my seat. I went, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, I was the same way. I was like, oh,
this is a different game than you thought you were playing. Zazie Beetz, the thing that I love about this character, Asia Reeves, that she plays, she consistently will, like, you can see, like, her wheels turning for a split second, and then she just, like, will run. Like, she doesn't, like, there's a few moments where we get, like, the cliche action moment of her being like, I want my sister, bitch. Like, you know, like that kind of stuff. But, like, there's a lot of moments in the movie where when confronted with something that it seems like she can't beat, she just runs. And I fucking love that. It was so refreshing for her to just go, okay, I'm out. Like, I was like, yeah, that's reasonable.
100.
Yeah, you would do that. Try to gather yourself. Try to get an advantage or something.
Well, it also raises the stakes of this movie because there is, like, you know that there's obviously going to be a way at some point for her to, like, kill these guys for good.
Yeah.
But you know it's not going to happen until like she's got a ways to go.
You
so
don't
a lot
know
of these
when it's gonna happen. Yeah, you
There's
just
a
know
lot
that
of
like
moments in this-
eventually. I didn't even know how it was gonna be revealed. I'm like,
Me
oh,
either.
how is she gonna off all these?
But
people?
you know it's gonna like that's gonna be part of it. And what
Yeah.
I liked about that is there's a couple good fight scenes in this where I'm
a
like,
couple,
girl,
like every fight scene's good.
well, no, I meant there's a couple that specifically do this moment
Oh,
where
okay.
I'm like, oh, you need to hurry up because it's been a couple minutes since you killed the first one, and they're gonna get back up here in a second.
They're
so
gonna
like,
put themselves back together.
you need to hurry. Like there was a little bit of that like the tension is already there that she can't kill them.
Yeah.
But there's another layer in some of the fights where it's like if you don't hurry, you're gonna have to kill them again. And I liked that.
Well, so she shoots. The next person she kills is a maid. I think she kills the maid with like I forget, like
Yeah, she
stabs
stabs
her
her.
or something. Yeah, and then goes into the maid's apartment on the first floor. The maid's child, who looks nothing like her, is in there. And is like, "You killed my mom, you bitch!" And she just goes, "Shut up!"
And
Like-
punches the kid square in the face.
Yeah, the kid. Well, the kid comes over and stabs her. She's like, "You little shit!" and then just knocks the kid out. Like I love that moment. That was really well handled. And then she's panicking. She's looking for something. She finds a trap door. She drops down into one of my favorite set pieces, which is like this weird under the first floor crawl space maze. And then like big pig guy is just like he's like a mute. He's like just like a weird mute. And he's like crawling through, chasing after her. Like sniffing. Heather Graham's down there. She fucking shoots Heather Graham in the face.
She blows her head off with a
off.
shotgun.
And then we get like this is probably one of my favorite parts of the movie and why I fast forwarded a little bit to this. We get like so she gets like first off she gets like she gets captured by not captured but like grabbed by this guy. There are multiple moments in this movie also where she's just like captured. Like and not in an insurmountable way, but just in a way where you're like, "Oh yeah, no, this is trouble." But she gets grabbed by the guy who is Lilith's husband in the hotel, and he starts explaining to her, like, hey, I'm trying to help people out. Like, they're going to try to kill you. You need to, like, here's the back. He's like, here's the lore dump. Try to survive, you know?
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, I'm going to go get my sister. And he's like, well, I told you there's a fire escape. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm going to go get my sister. And then we get Heather Graham's eyeball, which is probably my favorite character in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which is like the little eyeball that it just starts rolling around. Like, and I don't care how. I don't care if it's physically impossible. They worship Satan.
It also like spider climbs up a vent by using its like tendrils.
It, like,
that was fucking
whips
cool.
its own retinal ligaments, like just and like grabs and bounces up the vent. And then Zazie Beetz does eventually like find it, and she's like, "You tricky little bitch," or whatever she says, and just squishes the eyeball. I fucking loved that moment. There's so much that I love about this movie. I would say we would do most people a service by saying, just go see it. It's so fucking good.
My favorite moment
hit me.
comes a little bit later, but there is I think that this is probably going to be a contender for a new top 5 list that I'm going to introduce at the end of this year for top 5 fight scenes.
Okay.
You see a lot of action movies.
Oh, yeah.
I think this will make the top 5, if not definitely be an honorable mention. There's a moment where it's dark and you only get the light from a couple windows. It's raining.
Yep.
And she lights an axe on fire.
Oh, yeah.
And starts beating the fuck out of multiple people with it in some really creative ways.
Yeah.
And I put that, like, when I saw that, it was the same feeling when I saw John Wick 4 or 3, and it does the top-down Dragon's Breath shotgun video game style.
Oh,
like
yeah.
when he's clearing the house.
Yep.
Like, to me, those two equally as, like fire in low light in action makes my tiny brain squeal.
Yeah, the cinematography in this, and this is one thing that you and I were talking about, is just fucking phenomenal.
You want to know a fun fact about the cinematographer?
Hit me.
He was an extra, a background extra in an episode of Loki.
Oh, cool. The cinematographer in this is phenomenal. The choices, you and I were talking about this. In the action sequences, the camera almost establishes a set of like, I would say like visual cues and rules that it then follows for the action sequence. And then after the action sequence is done, we get regular like, but interesting camera shot choices again, which feels like a breath of fresh air because you've just had it. And it doesn't, here's the other thing that I really like. It doesn't do the fast camera, fast action movement stuff a lot like that we get in like Marvel movies and big like blockbuster action films. Instead, they're very like pulled back, like they're arcing and moving and angling shots that hold the action in place while keeping the movement and action of the actual visual space going.
Yeah, well, there's a couple good moments where, and I love when cameras do this, like the camera like moves with the hits.
Yes.
Where it feels like you got like some, like to me when I'm watching it makes it feel like the punches, the kicks, the movements have more weight behind them.
Yes, very much so.
Because sometimes with like static shots or like multiple cuts, it just feels like two people like clearly stopping short or not hitting each other. But like when the camera moves with it, I don't know, like I just,
it was really
a lot
good.
of good creative choices there.
Yeah, the editing was amazing. Camera movement was amazing. We should also mention people overseeing this on the production side, Andy Machete. Which is
producer.
Phenomenal. Yeah,
it makes so much sense.
What a cool production role to have. And like the combination of people who you can tell just wanted to make something fun and cool. It's there, like, and like you can tell like everyone genuinely just had a good time on this film. I haven't heard any controversy about the film at all. It's just been like, no, the film was like, they made it. It's cool. People are liking it. And I like, once again, the trailer didn't reveal a lot. We got a nice twist in the beginning. So I would say one other thing that I could mention that I also really enjoy is when she first gets her sister's not helpless. Her sister very much knows what she's doing and why she's there and is like, all right, I'm going to be immortal because fuck everybody because I hate life. And then her, like Zazie Beetz is like, I'm here to rescue you. And she's like, no. I don't doing the thing. She's like, I don't need to be rescued. I'm going to work my way up the chain and fucking run this bitch. And Zazie Beetz just knocks her out. Like, she's like, no, fuck. I don't accept that answer.
Punches her.
Yeah.
Do you think that they can leave the place? Like, do you think they can leave the building?
They do at the end.
No, I mean, like, the residents that are immortal.
No, they definitely can. I think they've just made it. I think it's just easier for them to stay there. Like, it's more convenient.
But speaking of the sister, I want to do another comparison to Ready or Not 2 real quick. Because it's the same kind of setup. And I mentioned this to you a little bit on the phone. I think a big issue with Ready or Not 2 is Samara Weaving's character knows immediately what to do. Like when she wakes up in the hospital and she's handcuffed and she hears people screaming down the hall, she immediately is like, well, I know what to do here. Time to kill some bitches, right?
Yeah.
Her sister throughout a lot of the movie is doing the trope of, don't do this, don't do that, what are we doing? Like kind of like very fish out of water, which, I mean, granted, it makes sense, but it's a little frustrating because the motivation between the two sisters in Ready or Not is that they had a foster family and Samara Weaving was like, at 18, I'm going off to college to make a better life for myself.
Yeah.
And her younger sister, who's 3 years younger, was like, you left me. And it's like, yeah, she did because she's going to college. Whereas in They Will Kill You, Zazie Beetz leaves her sister because she just shot her abusive dad
and she's like,
didn't know what to do.
I need to survive.
And ran away. And it makes sense that her sister holds that grudge because she truly did leave her in that moment.
Out of necessity, but yeah.
Yeah, and like in Ready or Not, it's just like, well, I went off to college and now I'm mad at you.
Yeah, I think there were more interesting writing choices in this.
Yeah.
And this is Kirill Sokolov, right? I think I'm correct on that, but
I believe that's how you say it.
Yep. So like really interesting writing choices, and it's two stories very similar. It's sisters. They're fighting satanic cults, and they have like the background of like you left me. But I would say that the choices in the writing, like I would say Ready or Not leans into the easier writing choice, which is the fish out of water. Why are we doing this? Whereas They Will Kill You has someone who's like, no, why are you here? Like I'm doing my own thing. So I really did enjoy that. I'm going to fast forward to the end because I think the end.
I want to fast forward to the end as well.
So we find out that the way that you become immortal is you take a pen and you write your name on this pig head that gets inhabited by a demon.
Yep.
I'm going to say it's a demon and not the devil, because if it was the devil, I feel like they would have been more explicit about that, you know? I feel like it would have like been a much more explicit Satan himself. But I think
they say it's Satan, but I mean,
they kind of say it's Satan, but like the whole time I'm like, this doesn't seem like Satan. It just seems like a demon.
I feel like you could have a demon and they think it's Satan, but it's really just a demon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's at least in my brain. I was like, this doesn't seem like Satan. It just seems like a demon.
It'd be a goat head if it was Satan.
Exactly. So, but like Satan comes up and inhabits this pig head, right? The demon comes into the pig head and starts talking. I actually loved the sequence, and I was very giddy about it. I was like, oh, cool, talking pig head. I love this.
Yeah.
It's very animated. It's very dark. I love the voice for it. And then we get our big final fight scene where Zazie Beetz, for like the umpteenth millionth time, has to kill these immortal fucks. Her sister's there. Patricia Arquette kills her husband because the demon pighead says, you better fucking do it. And then it tells Zazie Beetz, it tells Zazie Beetz that Zazie Beetz' sister, it's like, well, hey, we've got an opening in the hotel staff, but you got to kill your sister now. And then her sister writes a name on the pigskin, following the rules, and then kills herself, right?
Yeah.
But what she did was she wrote Zazie Beetz' name.
A life for a life.
Yep. She wrote Zazie Beetz' name on the pigskin, which I don't know how Satan isn't omnipotent enough to realize what name's being written on his pigskin. But whatever. I don't care.
They'll think about it.
And then Zazie Beetz proceeds to, with her newfound immortal powers, just absolutely. And I was thinking about this because over the movie, she sustains a fuck ton of damage, right? Like, so then at the end, she basically, and this plays out kind of like a video game, right?
She gets a level up.
She gets a level up. She's immortal. She's on par with the people she's fighting, and she starts fucking whooping their asses, like bad. She's still getting a little beat up herself, but like she fights them all. Like big guy gets stabbed onto a cold pipe thing. Two guys get wound together by chains and hoisted, and then one's used as a counterbalance for the other one. Heather Graham gets, I think, killed again. I forget what happens to Heather Graham.
Well, I love the bit with Heather Graham where she's like, "Stop killing me," and every time she says it, she just gets killed again.
Oh, it's so good.
Great.
And then Tom Felton gets skewered, and then Patricia Arquette asks Satan to give her power and puts the pig head on her head, and then we get a fucking boss battle, which is
an
amazing.
Anime boss battle.
Yes, which is amazing to get in a movie because all of a sudden you have this like. I think does she even grow like an extra set of arms or something? I forget.
Well, it has like tentacles that come out and
it's like weird.
Yeah.
And then it's like crawling on all fours and running at her and like fighting with a sword, and they're fighting each other. The boss battle, here's what I like about it. It doesn't last that long. It doesn't build up necessarily to a crescendo. There's just a lot of tension, and then Zazie Beetz gets the best of the pig demon Patricia
Well, she cuts
Arquette.
her name off of the pig. She like slices off the piece of skin, which I thought was kind of clever.
And then rips off the pig head by the nostrils and flings it, and then stabs her. And that's when we start getting like the actual like culminating end of this film where like she's realized, oh yeah, no, I can just. So she burns the pig head, right?
Yep, erases the names.
And all the people who she's effectively killed, but who were immortal, die in the position in which she killed them. And then it's revealed that she kept one tiny piece of the pigskin, and she changed the name from her name, Asia Reeves, to her sister's name, Maria Reeves.
And her sister lives.
And her sister comes back to life in the back of a car, and the guy who was the detective goes, "What the fuck's going? I don't even fucking care. Let's just drive," which is a very New York City reaction to something like that. And then they go get breakfast, and that's the end of the movie, and it's great. And it leaves room because the pigskin's still there, so like there's room for a sequel potentially, right? Cool, totally fine. Don't need it. We definitely don't need a sequel to this movie. If we get one, I'll probably go watch it. I don't know that you could ever make something as fun and original as this was. Yeah. So, Odie, all those things being said, what do you think of this movie? Garbage, bad, fun, good, or great?
It's bad.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's great.
Okay, good.
It
agree.
is great.
I think this is a great movie. I don't think it's on the upper level, because each one of those words kind of has its own spectrum too, right? I don't think it's on the upper level of greatness, but I would definitely put this in the great category in that I would put it on. I'd be happy if anybody put it back on. I will probably go see it again in theaters. I rarely see a movie a second time in theaters. This movie is that good. 28 Days Later was that good. There are a lot of movies, actually, I'm realizing, in the past couple of years that have been in the horror space, like horror, thriller, survival space, that have been that good. So I'm really glad that we're in this era of this type of film. Any other thoughts? Any final thoughts on this?
No, I think it's just a fun movie. I mean, at the end of the day, like, it is super fun. I think it does a really good job of hooking you. Yeah, I think it's just a good movie.
I'm also going to throw down, I love Zazie Beetz. I hope Domino comes back in the MCU. I really hope. I don't know how, and if Domino doesn't come back, fine. I hope Domino comes back as Zazie Beetz. I think that would be sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Agreed.
What do you got for jam this week?
So I've got a jam, and then I've got an anti-jam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, give me the anti-jam first. Let's end on a positive note.
Okay. So I watched a couple Netflix original movies.
Okay.
As I was yesterday working on just some like creative stuff, I wanted some stuff on in the background. But the one that I wanted to watch that I was like kind of interested in was the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck Netflix movie called The Rip. Have you heard of this one?
No.
This is the one that came out earlier this year about
I saw the trailer for it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're two Miami cops, and Steven Yeun is there, Kyle Chandler is there.
Yep.
What's her name from
I don't know.
The Oscar-winning movie? Holy crap.
It's an anti-jam, though. So it doesn't
One Battle
matter.
After Another.
Teyana Taylor?
Teyana Taylor
cool.
is in it. Sasha Calle is in it.
Cool.
Supergirl from the Flash movie.
Oh, cool.
And basically the whole plot of this movie is they're a tactical narcotics team in Miami, Florida, and they go to this house that has $20 million.
Okay.
And it's all about whether or not they're going to steal it, and if the cartel is after them.
Interesting.
And it's just a very slow, boring, uninteresting, uncreative, very predictable movie.
Okay.
That is supposed to be this like Matt Damon, Ben Affleck team up, but
it's garbage.
It's just not good. It just wasn't good.
It sounds like they got a bunch of good name actors and have a bad script and bad execution on the plot.
Yeah, they literally didn't use anybody properly, in my opinion. It's very obvious who the traitor is from the get-go.
Oh, it's a what was the movie with Ice Cube's son? The Panther Squad or whatever.
It's a Den of Thieves.
Yeah, it's a Den of Thieves type movie. All right.
It very much is.
Yeah.
And like the reveal at the end, Matt Damon's like, I did this and I pretended to do this and I was lying to you about this all so I could catch you in this web of lies.
Yep.
And it's like,
that's dumb.
You said that when nobody else was around and this guy has a gun pointed at you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that.
That sounds bad.
So that wasn't good. But
What's
what I did
jam?
watch that was good on Netflix was the Glenn Powell movie called Hitman.
Oh, yeah. That
This
came
is
out last year?
A year or two ago, I believe.
Oh, did it come out right before The Killer? Because I think I remember
so.
them coming out close to each other and me being like, I'll watch The Killer, and then maybe I'll get to Hitman later.
I think Hitman's definitely worth it.
Okay.
I don't say that a lot about a Netflix.
But you love
movie.
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell is phenomenal in this. It's loosely based on a true story. It's about a guy who teaches psychology at the University of Louisiana. It's in New Orleans.
Yep.
And he's so interested in the human psyche and why people do what they do.
Yep.
And this idea of the person we are is really just one long act, right? That we're never who we truly want to be. And he also is really good with like technology, so he helps out the local police department in New Orleans with like sting operations for people that are trying to hire hitmen to kill somebody in their life.
Yeah.
And so he ends up having to go undercover as like hitmen to entrap people. And one of those things kind of like escalates and unravels a little bit of his life into this other thing. And it's just a really fun time. Glenn Powell's having a great time doing accents and wearing wigs and in all these prosthetics, dressed up as different hitmen. It's really funny. And it's honestly like it's just a good little like hour and a half movie. I think it's definitely worth watching just because it's lighthearted, it's fun, it's really creative.
Cool.
It's got a pretty good ending that I think you can kind of see coming, but if you don't, I think it still lands.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing that I'll add about They Will Kill You, just like an afterthought that I mentioned to you. I felt very fulfilled watching it even when I guessed what was going to happen. You know, like and that we keep talking about this. That's a really good sign of a well-written script is you feel rewarded even when you know what's going to happen.
And I think I said when you told me that on the phone, I told you that I knew where Ready or Not 2 was going, and I knew how it was going to end,
and I
did not feel satisfied because it felt way too obvious.
Yeah, and that's more on the script than anything else. I think a well-written and and the director. I think a well-written and executed script will always feel rewarding, regardless of whether or not you guess the ending or whatever's going to happen next. Cool. I've got 2 jams for you this week. They are both music. One is a current jam. One is a future jam. One came out yesterday. I already listened to the whole fucking thing. Melanie Martinez, one of my favorite. I would call her anti-pop. She is pop adjacent. A lot of times very dark pop. A lot of times dark fantasy pop. Melanie Martinez is like if Chappell Roan wrote very explicitly honest lyrics about her thoughts. That's the best way. I'm kind of like this is me sitting here waiting, like listening to everybody talk about Chappell Roan, waiting for the Melanie Martinez train to show up because Melanie Martinez is fucking phenomenal. Every album she's put out has been a concept album. Every album she's put out has been counterculture and anti-pop. They're all phenomenal. This current one is called Hades. One of the best songs on it is called Possession. There's a song about, I think it might be called Boy with a Gun. But there's a song where, like, literally you say you're a feminist, but I know that you're lying. Like, she's so on point with how she criticizes current American culture and does it in a way that's not necessarily, like, anti-American for the sake of being anti-American. It's anti-popular culture, period. So I really highly recommend checking out the album Hades by Melanie Martinez. And then also Marlon Craft in 4 days, which is April 1st, so April Fool's Day, is releasing an album called The Internet Killed the Neighborhood. And I fucking love the title, and every song that's come off of it so far has been good. I think I actually Analog Man, which was one of his singles off this album. I think that was a jam of mine like a couple months ago. Marlon Craft has been on the climb for a long time. And has been, he's been spitting bars for like over a decade, and he's from Hell's Kitchen, just a really cool New York City boy, grew up there, loves hip hop. You can tell he's in it. And his lyrics and his hooks are something to be, enjoyed, dissected, and analyze, I would say, even with an artistic lens. So if you're someone who likes hip-hop and poetry, but someone who really wants something that's extra artistic, I highly recommend Marlon Craft, any of his albums, but specifically on April 1st, April Fool's Day, The Internet Killed the Neighborhood.
Same day that Super Mario comes out.
Hell yeah, baby. So with that said, we're going to be talking about Super Mario next week. Can't wait to talk about Super Mario Galaxy. With you know what? Why don't we do a barrel roll out of here? Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the UnPop Podcast. Thank you for weathering this absurd existence with us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about our mental health, subpoenas, or if you would like us to podcast live at your funeral, please feel free to reach out to mysecretpoweris@gmail.com. Art by FrankAce. Music by moi. See you next week. Let's go.
Hey, Einstein, I'm on your side. It's another line from Star Fox.
I'm glad you explained that at the end of this.